everybody and welcome to Feel Better Eating. This is a whole food plant-based experience that has the intention of educating you about the health benefits of eating plants, inspiring you to try new recipes and showing you how to have fun in the kitchen. That's very important for us. Typically it will be me, Joshua, and the wife Catherine, but she's not here today, so I'm riding solo, and I'm going to bring you today more of a methodology than a recipe, because Catherine is very recipe driven. If you've ever seen a lot of the shows to this date, she really likes to plan them out. She likes to think about the layers of the dish. A whole lot of thought goes into it, and that is really what she does day to day. But as I'm sure a lot of you guys in the audience have, real life occurs, right? And then you're out, you're doing stuff, you get in. And for me, having a recipe at that stage doesn't really work too well, because I'm either tired or I don't have all the ingredients, or it's just not that versatile. And that happens a lot in life, right? Where you come in, you're busy, you just want something quick that's going to be easy to cook. And that's what I'm going to show you, is how I would actually cook if I just came in and it kind of fit in for the show that Catherine wasn't available. And I came in and just basically had these ingredients which I asked for. And I'm just going to show you how I would prepare them, how I think about it, and just get a really tasty, healthy meal cooked in, if you're doing this at home, 10 to 15 minutes with a few explanations, maybe 20 minutes. But then you can take this methodology and just apply it. So that's what I'm going to be showing you today. These are the ingredients. It's just a mixture, and this is very typical of what would be available at our house. We're going to have a carbohydrate, protein, and then I'm going to walk you through all of these pieces. But welcome everybody, I appreciate you being here. Let's get into what we're going to be doing. So when I'm cooking this, I always start off with the carbohydrate, because it's going to take the longest to cook always. We're going to be using rice for this one, but you can realistically use any carbohydrate to make this meal work. Potatoes, brown rice, pasta without the wheat if you don't eat gluten like we don't, but we're going to be using rice for this. So I've boiled some water over there. I'm scaling the recipe up as best as I can for the crowd here, but typically for 2 people it's going to be a cup of rice. Half a cup each is a pretty good amount, but for this I'm going to be doing 2. So I've also got not the best track record with white rice cooked in a saucepan like this. It's been not my best ever thing to cook. I usually do a pressure cooker if I'm doing this by myself, but Kate doesn't really like the pressure cooker rice because it comes out a bit wet for her, so I have been practicing, so hopefully it goes well today. But we'll see. I don't know, does anybody else ever cook rice and get it too sticky or it burns or whatever? I don't know, it's not been the it's not been the best for me over the years. So we're just doing 2 to 1 with rice to water. So that's like always the first stage. I'm going to turn that down. Is getting whatever carbohydrate that you're going to be cooking, because that's going to take the longest, and in the meantime you can then prepare everything else. So when you're eating plant-based, the protein is going to be largely pre-cooked. You're going to get this canned or in a prepared version, but you can buy dried legumes like beans here, soak and pressure cook them. But that's what we're going to be doing for this, is black beans. But really, you can use any protein you want here. Lentils, red beans, white beans, black beans, cannelloni beans, any of that protein, it's all going to be the same, going to cook the same, going to taste relatively the same. Plant-based foods, plants in general don't often have overly pronounced flavors, that's why we're going to be seasoning them. But that's what you're going to prepare next if they aren't already cooked. But these are obviously cooked, so we're going to be talking about that in a minute. And then I go into what I call preparation, where I'm basically just going to cut up whatever I've got. I always like to start with an onion, and if you can do onion and garlic, that's always a good pairing. So we're just going to prepare this, and you can prepare the onions any way you want. And what I often do to mix it up is I'll cut them 2 different ways, because I think by the end of the cooking process, depending on how big the onion is at the start, determines how much of it you'll taste at the end. So if you cut it 2 different ways, you get the best of both worlds, and then you get to promote to Catherine that you've made onions 2 ways, but she's not here, so it will be you. So I'll slice one and then dice one. But again, as you're doing this, and if you're doing this consistently, you're going to be wanting to look for ways to change up the flavor profiles, and I'll show you how to do that. But texture is a big thing in cooking, so I think I'm just going to do 1 onion. How many people? Yeah, I'll just do 1 if we need to add to it. Maybe I'll do two. I'll do two. Fine. I'll just slice one and dice one to show you the two different ways. You can do thick slice, thin slice, and as always, use a sharp knife. This one's actually pretty decent. So this is like preparation, I guess is what I call this part of the process, where you're just going to be getting everything done, and then really you're pretty much done. Once the carbohydrates cook, this will be perfect timing, and it's super easy, right? So I'm just gonna, I don't know how you guys dice onions, but this is how I do it. Slice this all the way over, cut this to like halfway, more like nearly the whole way through, and then that sets you up for it. So we'll dice that one, just the same again. So you're pushing that all the way through, nearly back, the same this way. If you can make it all the way through without crying, you're an onion champion. A few tears in the kitchen never hurt anybody, right? So that's the onion done, and you can really put this in bowls if you like. I should probably do that, but you can put it in bowls. If you have a big enough chopping board, you can leave it there. So we have green peppers here. We have some tears coming down. It's the way it is. But you don't have to use any, really you can do this any way you want. I think that if you just had onions, garlic and the protein, that's fine, and these are all like additionals, but they're good to have in your diet. If you have one lying around, you've got to use it up, but you can again use any pepper that you want. You can really put any vegetable in. These are all additionals. It's just that we have green peppers today, and that's what we're going to be using. So you're going to want to take the seeds out of there, and this like white stuff here. So I pull the tops off, tap the seeds out, and then you're pretty much ready to, again, you can do sliced, diced, you can do whatever you're in the mood for. And if you're doing this as I said, multiple times in a week, which I have done very often, if it's me cooking for me, I'm going to be eating like this most days. So, I don't know, it's like tricking your mind into eating lots of different meals with the same ingredients. And another benefit of doing that is that you get the ability to buy in bulk like we have. That bag of rice there, we just buy the big £10 or the £20 one. You can buy 15, 25 pound bags of this. So then you've always got that in. The seasonings, we buy like the pound jars. So I know at any moment I can walk into the house and create a meal just like this by adding maybe just a fresh pepper. So that's good for the mind, I think, to have that ready to go. And it's all super affordable as well. Every ingredient in here, nothing is expensive, very accessible. So we're just going to be putting some garlic in there as well. Kate likes to put this in at the end, but I never do that when I'm cooking. So, because I'm cooking, I'm not going to do it, Robert. You know what I mean? She's not here to stop me. Because I don't know, she has a thing about cooked garlic or something. But she never complains when I'm cooking. I've been doing that for 3 years and she doesn't know about it. So, cut that, don't tell her. I'm going to leave this loosely chopped because I like the taste of garlic, but if you don't, you can puree it, you can do whatever you like. So that's all that prepared, and then really all I'm going to do, this is the protein and this, I'm basically just going to put this in the pan over there. I'm going to start with the onions and sweat those out a little bit, then I'm not adding the green beans, the green peppers, because that's going to have a lot of water in. Then I'll add the protein in, which is black beans, and then really that's going to cook down, and then all I do is just change whichever seasonings I put in it. Today we're going to be using the first three that I picked out, which is chili pepper, cumin and cayenne. Oh wait, that's chipotle chili peppers, even better. That'll be like the smoky taste. Cumin, and then spice. But as you're doing this at home, you can use any formation of seasonings that you want. And depending on, if you use turmeric in here, it's going to taste more Indian. If you use chipotle, it'll taste more Mexican. Really, whatever these that you choose, this all here will just take that flavour on. And the rice is obviously super plain, there's no flavour in rice, so it's just going to take this. So if you're doing this multiple different days of the week, you just change the formation of this, and then maybe the different thing, and you've got a meal that's replicable and really easy to do. So I'm going to put that on the heat while I'm getting this hot first. Should have bought the wee little cooker, but I didn't. We'll see how the rice is getting on. It can still do a lot of steaming. Might not have been enough water in there, but it doesn't matter. So we'll put this on to cook. You don't have to use oil, you can just use water if you like, but the onions also have a lot of water in as well, so I'm just going to start off with that. So I don't know what we at here, 12 minutes in or something like that? 10, 11 minutes in. So depending on how fast you are at chopping, could be 15 minutes, could be 20. We're just going to let that sweat down and we're almost nearly done. Super easy. Just get this cooking. Steam that on there. Perfect. So this is going to go, I'll leave this over here. So this is all going to go in there, and then all I do on the side is, if you've got avocados, obviously so easy, they're ready to eat. You just cut this and serve it on the side. We're also going to put in some cherry tomatoes here. Look pretty good. But again, this is like the last part. This will be the uncooked part. So the more of this that you can add in, the better. And I really just put on this dish whatever is in the fridge. So if that's tomatoes, avocados, I'll put that on. Cucumbers, lettuce, any greens, any salad greens. So that's going to be like a separate part. So then when we put this all together, we're going to have the carbohydrate, the protein mixture, and then a fresh piece, and you're going to see it, and it's be pretty much done. Easy peasy. Just got to cook it. Pray the rice comes out. Oh, it's getting there. Okay. Wow, it's not even stuck or anything. This could be perfect for this. Bang. So I basically cooked that through on low. I'll just show you so you can see it on the mirror. Because I never used to get rice right. So you're basically just cooking that down low, and then the steam is going to do the last bit of cook. So if you cover it like that, it's going to continue to cook. But that's pretty much done. So we'll put that over here, ready for serving. Continue to cook just a little bit like it needs to. This seems to be taking a minute here. Come on. If you're doing cast irons, it will get hot quicker, obviously. Well, actually, maybe not. Obviously, usually they are pretty fast. That just seems to be slow. And I'll do maybe two rounds of seasoning. I'll do, when they start, you'll hear it when it starts to sweat, the water will come out of the onions. I'll put the first round of seasoning in, then mix it around, cook that down, add this in, add that, and then put the last round of seasoning in, just because it makes it a bit more pronounced. And again, over time, you'll find out which combinations of these that you like. And I like this because I never measure anything, so that has pros and cons, meaning it can't be replicated. Typically I'll just put whatever I'm feeling in, but it means that you're going to be mixing it up. And when you're cooking consistently for yourself at home, it's very easy to get bored of what you're cooking. It's very easy to be like, oh, that again, or get stumped for ideas. Whereas if, I don't know, I cook this way because for me it's very easy, and the end result is Kate always eats it, I always eat it, and we don't get bored of it. So it's more of a methodology than a recipe I wanted to share with you today. And you can hear it now, as if by magic. Turn that down. Okay, so we'll start off with these. That was lucky, it's got the safety caps come off it. Wow, that could have been out of control. That's cumin. Cayenne will be spicy, so don't put too much of that in if you don't like it spicy. And then this is the, this will make it taste, oh, it's a fresh pack as well. Anybody like chipotle? Do you like this flavour? Chipotle? Chipotle? Oh, let's bang that in there. Beautiful. Other additions that you can put in there, I've pretty much tested most ingredients in our kitchen. Maple syrup is really good in that. You want, especially if you mix maple syrup with the spicy flavour. So you've got the sweet, the spicy, and then if you have white wine vinegar or apple cider vinegar, the acidic flavour. Putting those three in is a really good combination because you get this like sweet, spicy, sticky sauce. Baked beans, you ever cook with baked beans? Yeah. And it's not too popular in America, but we have that a lot back home. You can put a can of that in and then the tomato juice will take up all the flavours too, that's good. But I've eaten this so many different ways, I never get bored of it, so. Oh, bang this in. The pepper and the garlic. That's that. So that first round of cooking with the onions and peppers is going to release a lot of water. So you want to, I like to steam that off. If you like it moist, I guess you'd leave it in, but I like it drier before adding these because this will add water in too, but I like a drier mixture. But again, it's up to you, isn't it? You're cooking, so you do what is good for you. And while that's going down, we'll just prepare a salad. Well, I'll say a salad, it's just, these are so ripe. These might even be crazy ripe. Pretty ripe, but it doesn't look that ripe inside. Oh, that's weird. You can leave these holes. What Kate and I actually do usually is just cut that and then just put that next to your plate. That's what we do. Because then Kate likes to slice it and scoop it out, put it in the thing, and I just eat it straight in. So I guess we'll do both. We'll do both. We'll do both. This is what. Don't cut your hand when you're doing that. Not a good idea. Nice and slow. And then scoop this out. Easy. Leave that on the side there. And we'll leave that one in its case for whoever's going to have it. We'll serve that one. Put these here. Beautiful. That's coming along nicely. Oh yeah. You smell that back there yet? You smell the chipotle? Smells like tacos, yeah. It's good that I never really used to use that seasoning. Kate got me into the chipotle. Chipotle. It's nice. Just do some tomatoes. These don't look the freshest tomatoes in Indiana, but we'll be alright. We ate a lot of these. Our garden produced 24 pints, so this is a pint, right? So we had like 24 of these from our garden this year, from just a small 3-foot bed. It's pretty incredible. Tomatoes grow like crazy. They were growing. We had our last harvest on November the 12th, so pretty late into the season. And it's only now, obviously, with the cold that they've died, but pretty cool. They grew from March to November outside. It's pretty sweet. Nice artwork. So we've got that and that. Lovely, lovely. So I'll just show you. So this is where we're at. You can cook the melons, the chipotle. That's when you know it's getting better. So you can cook this through to whatever your preferences are. If you are using maple syrup, I like to caramelize it in there, but we're not going to do that today. And this is 2 cans of beans, which for 6 people will be close, but I'm just going to probably use, we might end up using all of this, but yeah, come on, we'll just bang that. I'll keep that, I'll put some in it. So we're going to do that, and then I'll just do one more round of seasoning. And then cook it. But you pretty much, the beans are already done, so you're just heating it up really. So we just bang that. That was the right one, yeah. And it really will just take on any flavour that you want. So if you want Indian flavour, you use like garam masala, cumin, and that's why we always buy the spices in bulk, because once you've got them, they just really take it from. I mean, if you cook this meal without spices, it would just be like, I don't know, Wouldn't be
Put
as...
some hot sauce in it.
You could definitely put some hot sauce in there, sure. Hot sauce in there.
Sour cream. Hot sauce and sour cream.
And what?
Sour cream.
You could put sour cream in there, sure, yeah.
Nice.
You can put whatever you want in your cooking, you do what you want. But sour cream would be pretty good in there. Because you've got like, it would take off the heat, probably make it a bit more moist. Oh, no.
Yeah,
You can smell it now.
yeah, it's sweating.
It's sweating, yeah. So we're just going to sweat that down, get it nice and warm, and then we'll be ready for serving. So it doesn't have to be complicated cooking, and especially cooking healthy doesn't have to be complicated. It can actually be very easy. And I usually time this so if we get in late and it's me that's cooking, this is what I'll do, and Kate will shower and do whatever she wants, and by the time she's out, she usually watches this last part while I go and get showered and ready, and by the time I sit down I take that off. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. And that's how we like it.
Make it seem so easy.
Well, you know, it's just more than what I was trying to share in this is like just the methodology of you just need one carb. So if this was potatoes, it'd be the same. Make that first, chop everything up, get it warm, put it all back together. I mean, it's easy. I still don't do recipes. If Kate makes a recipe, I'll like follow it and I'll do the thing and that, but that's just not, I don't find that as fun, especially after a long day when you've been concentrated. I like to just throw stuff in, and I'll be opening cupboards and being like, oh, what's this up here, and just chuck it all in. So
everything you make's always tasted excellent.
exactly, yeah, believe in that.
Yeah.
And really, there are caveats to it. Like sometimes you'll make one that is so good, you'll be like, oh, I wish I had just recorded what I did there. But then the flip side of that is you enjoy it more when it's there. And
Notice when you put seasonings in, this is a quarter cup, you'll, oh, a little more ain't gonna hurt.
Exactly, and it depends on what you're feeling at the time, you know. I think. We'll get that there. Perfect. Just push that down. And what I also do sometimes, they've got you don't have to do this, but I just find that it sometimes changes the texture. I'll just get like a little potato masher and just mash it a little bit.
Yeah.
Just break a couple of those bean casings open. You don't want to like turn it into too much because you still want the textures, but this I just find makes the whole final dish a bit more presentable. So just mash that just a little. Yeah, there you go. So turn it more into like a almost like a fajita mixture, really. That's what this is turned into. I mean, you could serve this with fajitas if you had like some wheat wraps or whatever you were using on the side. So I like it, I'm not sure if you can see that, but I like it when the bean casings just break just a little bit and then everything else is, I like the onions to be softer than the peppers because then you've got two different textures. And if you look, do you remember when I said onions two ways? When you eat this, the cubes of onions will still probably be crunchy, but the slices of onions will be softer. So on your mouth that feels better. And for the sake of one different slicing technique, much leverage there. So I'm going to serve that, that's it. Easy peasy. So just get a bowl like this, put that. So then we're going to take the rice. I need a fork for the rice. And this meal also will hit quite a lot of your nutritional needs for the day in terms of protein, carbohydrates. You're going to have a lot of good stuff in the garlic, the seasonings. So, and of course, it's all whole food, so it's always going to be pretty good for you.
What should you drink with this?
What do I drink with it?
Yeah.
I just drink water.
Oh.
But you could really drink whatever you wanted, to be honest.
Like you can drink Gatorade with this?
I mean, if you wanted to.
Oh.
I mean, I personally wouldn't drink Gatorade with this, but if that's what you want to drink with it, it's your meal, right? I just don't really drink when I'm eating too much. I don't know, I just tend to don't do that, but if that's what you want to do. I'm not going to stop you. This rice actually turned out pretty good. I've never cooked to it before. It's like, I don't know what it said it was, but it's turned out pretty good. It feels a little dry, but we'll give ourselves a 7 out of 10 for the rice effort today. Yeah, I mean, that formed pretty good. And again, you can serve this however you want. I'm just going to serve it like this way. I'm just going to do a spoonful of that. See how that little mash technique changes quite a lot, because then that goes there. We'll get this, clean that up just a little bit. And then we'll slide in slices of avocado there. Sprinkle that over there. Bam, bam, bam. A little bit of, this is the wrong salt. Oh, there's lots of, I mean, just even in here, there's coriander, cilantro, paprika, Italian seasonings. Just in that cupboard, this same dish with that will taste, you can make it 20 different ways. So we're just going to put a little bit of salt on the top. Oh, that's quite a lot of
So
salt.
how do you know if you don't overdo the seasoning? How do you know you don't do that?
I think that's just an experience thing, but you can kind of tell. I mean, I think most people under-season than over-season. You really got to go hard at it to over-season. Especially with this when there's so much water in the mixture, but it's just something that you'll get used to over time, and again, you'll adjust it to suit your flavours, because if you like it spicy, you'll add more in, you know. But that's it, that's us. What was that there? Wow, that was actually took longer than I thought, but put a little fork in that. So, I mean, if you're doing this at home and you come in from like a long day and you just don't want something hard to cook, I think that's like a pretty easy, straightforward recipe. I do this a lot, and of course, you can serve this for so many different people because you just scale the recipe to whatever you want. If you're serving, this is going to serve like 8 people or something. Yeah, easily. 2, 4, 7, yeah. So then you've got that healthy, tasty, nutritious. It's going to be satiating. And it's dependable, you know. You don't have to. Why I like this, and the point I really wanted to share with you is I know that just through sourcing, I buy a big bag of rice, cans just like this, or the bags of legumes. They stay in the house. I buy them like twice a year. The seasonings I buy twice a year, and then it's just adding in the fresh bits. So I always know, oh, what we're gonna have for dinner. This is always pretty much available, which I feel firstly very grateful for. But then secondly, I appreciate that I have set this up for me. So for you guys, if you're looking to have a dependable food system, this is just a really good way to do it, in my opinion. So there you go. That's an easy 10-minute. What did this take, Kevin? What was the damage?
28.
28 with talking, so you can halve that 14 with the rice. 14 to 18 minutes, but yeah. Looking forward to sharing this with you guys. Appreciate you all being here. Thank you for your time. This recipe is available on the website. Well, methodology is available on the website. And I'll see you next time. Much love, everybody. Peace. Thank you to all of our show sponsors and supporters who make this show possible. The Healthcare Foundation of LaPorte, Grace Learning Centre, Citizens Concerned for the Homeless, and ALCO, Access LaPorte County. We appreciate all of your support.